Hello, and welcome to the Atheist Experience. I'm your host, Matt Dillahunty. Joining me this week, Tracy Harris.
Hello.
How are you?
Good.
We're so glad you could join us today. Oh, screw all that. We're live like normal. Today is Sunday, August 17th, 2008. Thanks to everybody who's joining and watching us live. So hopefully maybe we'll trump that with Hayden. How you doing? Hayden?
Hayden?
Yes, yeah, Haven, actually.
Oh, sorry, they misspelled.
No, it's fine. I just kind of wanted to shed a little light maybe on the last conversation.
Okay.
He was kind of trying to allude to the whole religious versus a scientific approach to God, maybe, or a philosophical approach to God. I just wanted to comment that you're talking about pretty much the same thing, just in different means.
Yeah, I agree.
Science search for God or the meaning of the universe would be to understand forces, to understand gravity, to understand cause and effect would be philosophy. The meaning of the universe as it pertains to man, and then the religious aspect, and this is, of course, just my opinion, would be more the mysticism of it and how we can relate to something that we can't even understand. And the way we would do that would be through, like, dreams, through metaphor, through poetry. So
I understand what he's doing. Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, I just kind of wanted to maybe throw in that little tidbit, maybe bring in the aspect of God being the same thing, but being described in three different ways.
Right, what you're saying is science defines the mechanism, philosophy defines the meaning, and then religion is there for people who have a gap where they're just like, this is blowing my mind and I have to relate to it in some way.
Exactly. And that would define the religious...
It's not three different ways of talking about the same thing.
It's three different areas completely.
It's three different things.
Yeah.
Three different what now?
It's three different things that you described. It's not three different views of the same thing.
No, it really isn't, because I mean, when you talk about God in a religious aspect, like in the Bible or whatever, or if you were to go to the Quran or whatever, you have morality, you have universal truths being justice, temperance, all the virtues that of course link into philosophy.
Oh, I think this is just a semantic issue, because there's sort of like, science can tell me how this book is put together, and philosophy can talk about what the book might mean to me, and then religion is sort of how I relate to this book and what it means to me symbolically. And what you're kind of saying is that it's all about, it's all different perspectives on the book. And what Matt is saying is it's very clearly defined, though, the parameters of those three different perspectives. And I think it's just a semantic difference.
Actually, no, it's more than that.
Okay.
The mysticism element that you talked about is nowhere near the same thing as the scientific element, with just a different name on it. In the case of religions dealing with the supernatural and mysticism, it's talking about something entirely different. The question of whether or not a God exists is one that I think actually can be addressed scientifically, and isn't dependent upon philosophical positions or mysticism.
Oh no, and they're not contingent. Yeah, they're not contingent on each other. They can't be contingent.
What he's saying is that's what people use religion for. I
know what people use religion for. Okay. I'm saying that what they use it for is nothing that's demonstrated as real, and is definitely not the same thing as what science is addressing on the issue.
I think
earlier you said that it was three ways of looking at the same thing, and I'm saying it's not.
Right,
it is, in fact, three ways of looking at three different things. Science is looking at what's real. Philosophy is trying to figure out what, if anything, this might mean, but not anything to do with the real. And the mysticism aspect is talking about something completely different, something that cannot be demonstrated, that doesn't manifest, that isn't in any way real.
I beg to differ. Something that's not observable. I would say that you saying something that's not real, that's subjective, because...
No, it's not. Reality is not subjective.
No, it clearly is. Otherwise, and I'm gonna
no, it's not.
The experiments in Geneva with the proton accelerator thing gonna be fired off here
Yes.
pretty soon. They're looking for things that they found in theory, but they can't observe them.
That doesn't have anything to do with reality being objective. That's the difference between...
No, it does, because you're
No,
saying
it
that
doesn't.
God...
No,
you're saying that God
oh,
is
for
not...
Christ's sake, let me talk. It doesn't have anything to do with reality being subjective. The fact that we have theoretical particles, and now we've devised an experiment in order to try to find out if these things manifest in reality, that is science being applied. It is not at all what you're describing.
Well, the thing is, if we had science... if we had a scientific experiment to demonstrate... to have God actually manifest, then of course we would, but we don't. We just have evidence. And
Right.
Evidence,
And for those
laws
things
of
that
nature, the evidence being
Right.
universal truths in philosophy, evidence being miracles occurring. And I use those three things just to encompass, again, science, philosophy, and religion. You know what I mean? So we're looking at the evidence. We're not looking at God.
No.
Are you
We're
saying that the
something we
people who
haven't-
believe it are considering this as evidence? Or, I mean, like, for example, I don't believe miracles occur, but I know that there are people who do. And I'm trying to, I guess in my mind, I would like to know whether you're asserting that the evidence for God consists of miracles, or whether you're asserting that the evidence for God who believe in God consists of things they consider miracles.
I'm saying the evidence of God would be that I'm actually sitting here, that I can... That I can be
Okay, you
speaking
lost
with
You're
me.
done. You're done.
Yeah,
Sorry.
you lost my support right there.
In fact,
I know
he's
what I think
arguing
that's
for a
what you're
subjective
saying.
reality where my mysticism is just as valid as your scientific exploration. And the evidence for
No.
God is that I'm actually sitting here. That's what you're doing. And by
That's
the
the
way,
evidence that you're sitting there.
yeah, you sitting
Yeah.
there is evidence that you're sitting there. That's it. Nothing more. You construct a logically valid syllogism that begins with one of the premises is, I'm sitting here, and ends with, God exists. I'll buy you a steak dinner if I can't find a flaw in that. I might even buy you a house
And
if I
there's the
can't find a
email
flaw with
address to
that one.
send it to.
There's the email address at the bottom of your screen, tv@atheist-community.org.
Do we even have
Send
time?
in your syllogisms. Prove that God exists.
Is there time for David?
We have 1 minute left. David, you there?
Does that thing talk to him personally?
David?
Hello?
David,
Hey.
you there?
Oh, you're actually going to get me in the last...
No,
so
we're not.
sorry.
No, we're not. I just wanted to...
I can't talk about it infinity in
No.
that short of time.
We're
No,
so
we only have
sorry.
45 seconds.
Just
I
do
just
your Wonder Twins thing for me. That's
Yes.
what I really want to see.
activate. I got to let you go, David. Thanks for the call. Call in earlier next week. We'll try and get to you. Thanks, everybody, for watching. We'll be back again next week. You can see more online at atheist-experience.com and atheist-community.org. There's a list of the crew who can maybe show themselves that the camera's working. There they are.
Hey.
Y'all be safe and call in and let us know next week why you believe what you believe.